I have with me Dr. Stuti, who has been in my life for the last 8 years, 9 years. The first person I'm having on Art Farts. It's called Art Farts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The most important thing is she runs Kotakin. She's the founder of Kotakin, which is a Pilates studio, and it is probably the best in the entire world. So she's very good at what she does, and today she will be out of her depth for the first time, and I'd love to see and watch it unfold.
Hi guys, I'm really excited to be with Priyanka on this one as it's her first one and it's very special.
The first part of your life, like your childhood, your teenagers, you said you were artsy.
Yeah.
And then you stopped being artsy.
Yeah. I don't know if it's artsy or not, but I used to love drawing, okay? And I used to be really good at it. And I think I'm really good at it.
Oh,
but
wow.
it's just, yeah. And I've won so many competitions as a kid. And I think after 12th, it reduced. And eventually just with the work and everything, then life happened.
Did you find Pilates where you kind of left art? Not that they were related to each other, but like timeline-wise.
Yeah, no, when you say that, I think so.
So Pilates is an art form to you.
Yeah, I would say so.
Not like it's not like a workout session.
No.
Or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It's like, can it be part of art of living?
Yeah, it can be. It's more like it makes me feel whole. I would say like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think like art is?
So I think this things come to my mind when someone tells me art. Then yeah, it's colors and it should look pretty.
Okay, fair. When you give the cue while we're doing Pilates, is that imagine you're painting a wall.
Yeah.
Or something. When we're doing the foot.
Yeah, leg circles.
Is that something you came up in your head, or is that like a universal Pilates cue?
Honestly, it was one of my teacher taught that cue.
Okay.
And I just loved it because it is like that. And when it's like painting the wall, it's more fluid. It's more smoother and not really jerky or ballistic kind of movement.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So do you think that like we could have a session at Kotakin where we have a canvas attached to the wall and a paintbrush between our toes, and then we're just painting it? And we could make the interiors of Kotakin very artsy with people's drawings with their feet.
I don't know. I think I'll have to ask Harshal. He might kill me.
But I think we should put that in.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We should do that with.
Yeah, maybe I want to see how smooth it is.
Yeah. How smooth is it? It's a reality check.
Yeah.
Is your leg movement actually smooth?
Mobile, yeah.
Yeah. So you're part of like many organizations, the YFlow, the GCCI, Kotakin, you run it. You have to deal with a lot of people, and I think managing people is also an art form.
Yeah, definitely.
Pilates is an art form. Basically, living life is like the whole, like it's art to live life too. So where do you think you are in if your life was an entire piece of art and it was supposed to be put up in a gallery or a museum or somewhere, and it just said Dr. Stuti?
So
what stage are you at, and what would it maybe look like? Would it be a sculpture? Would it be a painting? Would it be a sound installation? Would it be in a dark room? Would it be in like a very... I think when I see Dr. Stuti, I see a lot of desert flowers. Because I see like a very strong person, but also a very like bubbly, cute person. So it's like a mixture of like, don't mess with me, but like I will also be very sweet and polite to you. And like you can, I think, well, that's a personal bias towards you. Is that like nothing can like touch you. Probably like the harshest weather can't like move you. So what do you think?
I think it might be like, as you said, even I feel like mountains and flowers and sunny day. That would be like good days of my life. And then when there are really tough days, I think it might be sculptures, which shows like, very strong, but at the same time, tough.
Yeah. Like a rigid sculpture.
Rigid sculpture. Yeah.
But also with like flowers on it.
Exactly. So I'm both. Like, of course, I would say major of the time I'm really positive, bubbly, and all that. But it has to happen the way I've created. It just cannot go haywire.
Right.
That's how I am.
So your piece has to be perfect.
Yeah. Detailing. It has to be.
And and this is right now, like the 25 to 35 period of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you're going to remain exactly like this? And were you always like this?
I think I was always like this. And I don't think I'll change because starting off my first year of my work and right now, I think I'm same. There are a few things I would just not let it go. But at the same time, I think I have learned that few things are not useful. So you just have to let it go. But few things are extremely important. So even I think Herschel or God will come down, I would still not budge.
I'm glad. Another interesting thing I wanted to learn from you was that because you are so out and very social and all of that, you know everything about Ahmedabad, around Ahmedabad, who is in Ahmedabad, whatever, right? How do you think the local art community is? And do you feel like it's accessible?
No. I think I know art because of you now more. For me, art was just drawings, paintings. Okay, then I came to know that art is not that. Art has shapes, like how you said, there are squares, circles, and you have to, like whether I'm a line, whether I'm a square, like all that I learned from you. But I think that was never here. And if it's here, I think it's not accessible. There's no one who is around to actually give you that basic information of what art is. Like even if I love art, if I want to buy a piece, I don't know like where to look for because it's all about just paintings, right? Art here. So even if I go to someone's house and now I know things, so I'll be like, oh, wow, this is good. But now I have that knowledge that, okay, what it is in this, which is good. It's not just a painting like that. So I don't feel still Ahmedabad is there.
So what can we do? What should we do?
I think people like you should bring more awareness. I'm sure you guys would be doing that, but it's not reaching to us, to be honest. It might be reaching to audience which knows more about art, who are in that community, but not to people like me. Or I would just say, like, if I ask my physio, I'm so sure she would be like me, which I was few years back, like when I met you. So I think more, I don't know, workshops.
Yeah.
Like I remember you did it in Bombay. That was so cool. Something like that more here.
Yeah. And I think this will help.
Yeah.
Because I got a celebrity on.
Oh my God, no.
As my first.
No, not at all.
But okay. So you said now that you know what it's like, you look at something and you go like, oh, this is interesting or this is good. I'm drawn to it.
Yeah.
And I'm drawn to it because maybe of the shape or like the color or the size or whatever. So has there been something, any piece, anywhere in the world that you have been really drawn to? And you said that for me, art is pretty. So has that ever happened that you're drawn to something, but it's not actually pretty?
Yeah, actually, I'll be honest, like I love seeing people on Instagram stories who are into a gallery or something, and then, they post all that pictures. And I think I liked something which was nothing, and there was just a dot, and like, it was so random. And I was like, dude, why am I liking this? It was nothing. I was like, I can also do it.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't say that.
No, but that's true. Because like the most famous thing, right? The banana taped with like a duct tape, creating waves everywhere in the world. Not to people who don't know about art. They've heard it because it's so like circulated popular, and in the news and like bizarre that everyone's like, what is that?
What is that? Yeah. So I think now I would agree that not everything what is pretty is art, and that's what you like. Some very weird things might really catch your attention. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah. So would you say for you it's more about evoking emotion? Art is more about evoking emotion rather than like it just being pretty?
I don't know that yet. It might be, but I'm still not sure. Like because I haven't seen that much art.
Right. Or like even when you're like roaming around in the city, there are these like I'll say public sculptures
Yes.
or murals or something.
Yeah.
Where do you think that fits in your assessing of art?
I
I think we should stop calling it art. We should just call it something else.
no, that is also art.
Right.
Yeah, that is art.
And-
But I think that's a different form of art, which is very strong. Like I think the canvas and all is a very soft form. That's according to me like a
Yeah.
normal person. Like it's a very soft art. This is very strong, very gives a very bold symbol. Yeah.
And has it ever like provoked thought into your head? Being like, would you interact with the space differently if there were a large installation or, murals around it or something like that? Let's say you walk into a garden and it's just a garden, like it's just grass and like plants and people are sitting and chilling. Versus like a huge little huge sculpture or the bordering of the garden has like murals on it or whatever. Do you think you would interact differently with the space?
For sure. So I'll just give you an example. Like one of my relatives just made the house. Okay, I kept seeing all this few months. I've seen it before, like when there were no art forms there, or what you say, this mural installation. Yeah.
Whatever.
And then a day before they had installed that piece, and then I went the next day, which was a housewarming, and it looked so different. I was seeing through all these months, so it's not like I saw after like a year or after 6 months, but I think it adds character to the space, and which I feel that how a painting also changes the whole space. Same way I felt about that, and it was just, I'm talking about like few weeks before, and I was very excited. I was like, oh, wow. I'll tell Priyanka that I saw that and it was so good.
So it brings out like character, life, vibrancy, or not vibrancy. Maybe it dulls down the mood, but basically a change in mood.
Exactly. Yeah.
You were very interested in your childhood in art, and after 12th you kind of like it fizzled out because life happened and you had to focus more on your career and stuff like that. And you also said that for you art was drawings.
Yeah.
Until I came into your life and I started like vomiting stuff on you about art. So where do you think what do you think would be a great way to not force education into being more about all the forms of art or like fine art, visual art? There's like sculpture, there's paintings, there's fabrics, textiles, there's music, it doesn't have to be like something you see in a gallery. There's sound, there's so much. Even architecture to a point is very, very artistic. So we already have kids who have like a full workload case. And where do you think that you would have liked as a child? Or what as a child do you think should have been as art ed?
I think I should have known that art is not just drawings.
Yeah.
I think I should have known that, okay, you can make sculptures.
Yeah.
Even the clothes what we wear and the design, like in saris, how that intricate design, what weavers do. There is also art, I'm guessing, right? So I think that knowledge as a drawing teacher should have given me.
Yeah.
But then maybe she also wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
So here in India, as per se, I feel in my times, for sure, art was just drawing.
Right.
Like sketching. I used to love sketching, pencil colors, watercolors, just making those abstract stuff or specific. That was drawing. Yeah. So it could have been a little more in detail about what kind of options you have in art. So that would have given you a more clarity in case if someone really wanted to pursue it. Yeah.
So there are two things to this. One, it's funny that you say that, like, I didn't know there were so many forms of art, and I feel like I should have known, meaning someone should have educated me about it. Because when I was applying to art school, it was not that I always knew that I wanted to do art. Art was more of like something maybe I want to do, just because I still to this date can't draw. When someone goes like, when I say I'm an artist, I'm a sculptor, or I'm a visual artist, they go like, can you make a portrait of me or something like that? And And when I tell them that, yeah, I have a degree in Bachelor of Fine Arts, but I can't draw, it's very amusing to them because you're like, how did you get the degree?
So true.
And when I went for interior architecture because I thought that's the only way that I can get my artistic side outside, but also have a career and not, be unemployed for the rest of my life. So until I did not go to art school, meaning for college, I did not know what sculpture was or what it could be.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny because
Yeah.
imagine if I went and I did not like any of it, it would have been such a waste.
Right.
So that is part one.
I'm
Okay.
interested.
Part two of my question was very simple, that India is a very artistic country with a lot of history and heritage. And like you said, in the saris and stuff, the weaving you never knew about until very recently. So now, how would you balance that? How would you balance the whole, there's sculpture, there's sound, there's paintings, there's drawings, there's different things, and now there's art and tech, and there's so much. And then on the other hand, we have very traditional art, which is basically dying, right?
I agree. Yeah.
And not Indian art in general, but every region has its own art. That to this date, even if I'm very into the art community, I don't know what the art forms of India are like, all of them. I know what Gujarati art forms are like because I am Gujarati. Maybe to an extent Rajasthani because it's our neighbor.
Right.
But how would you balance that? How much of importance do you think we should give to traditional art versus contemporary art or the West?
I think recently, since past few months, I think that side of me is active. I'll be honest. So recently, I saw this Pashmina. It has such beautiful art. And I went into more detail about Jamdani work and what different work. Now I don't remember the names. But I feel that we have so much history, culture. We have so much of everything in every part of India. But I think we are going more towards just being more modern. We are trying to copy the Western countries. Though if you really think about it, they actually have a lot of stuff of ours, which they have showcased, and we paid to see that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy,
right?
Big designers.
Yeah,
from jewelry to fashion to everything.
So somewhere, if people like you and me would start appreciating that small things, then maybe I think it would change.
Yeah,
and it will definitely a different country then.
I can't wait for that day. Yeah. So, do you think that one way we could do it is that fine? I think we need to appreciate the artisans that do know how to do it and really, really value them.
So
we massively undervalue them, and it's all dying now that faster machines are there and cheaper ways to manufacture it. But again, the point of art is not to be manufactured.
Exactly.
So, do you think one way we could keep this whole India needs to approach modernity with keeping traditional work would be to merge them?
Yeah, exactly. I don't say that modern is not good. Of course, we should appreciate that also, but we have our own stuff to appreciate. Yeah. So we should start doing that first. Yeah. And Western can be a part of it. It can't be the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Right?
We could maybe, if physically we were making a piece, do you think that it could be very geometrical and modern looking with sharp edges and stuff like that, but then you make it out of bandhani?
Exactly. Yeah, that would be so pretty.
Yeah. Be crazy. I might just do it. But okay. So, well, thanks for chatting with me.
Always my pleasure.
Thanks. Okay. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.